crowd and environment, and I think this will be very much the same. And I hope that we just dominate tomorrow with attendance, and that it's just an incredible venue for Indiana fans. And I'm proud of all of our fans for the fact that we jumped to second in attendance for home attendance in the league. Just a few ahead of Wisconsin, but just behind Ohio State. That's a great step in the right direction, and I hope we carry that right up there with us, and then wherever we go next week.
How much the fact that you have played it, well, now Banker's Life once already, help with this preparation?
Oh, I think it helps because you don't get any time to get in the building, and unless you take the early morning walkthrough time, that's just the way that it is. So I don't think there's any question that it helps and that we have some familiarity with it. But you'd always like to have more of an opportunity to be in there, but the fact that we've scrimmaged in there and the fact that we have played a game in there, I think that's good for us. I don't know what it really means, but I think it's good for the players because it's not a totally foreign atmosphere or surroundings for them.
I know every year is a different year, but they beat you 2 out of the last 3 years at the tournament. Does that help you? Because it makes sure that the guys, you know,
Just like you
are ready
said,
for
it's
them?
a different year. It's a different year. We don't even bring it up. I mean, I think the veterans are well aware of that, but that's not anything we bring up. I mean, this team that we're facing is really good, and I've always felt like that. I think they're one of the harder playing teams around. And Jermaine Marshall is on an absolute tear right now. Since the injury to Woodyard, he was already playing well, but is doing that much more. Tim Frazier has been an all-league guy, really since the non-conference, but certainly during the conference season. Ross Travis continues to build confidence. And every time they're dealt a blow, you know, whether it's an injury, whether it was Billy Oliver, I mean, they just keep coming. So they're a resilient, resourceful, tough bunch of guys led by their coach. So that's what our focus has been on, making sure that we match that energy and toughness more than anything else.
In terms of, touched on this a little bit in the teleconference and after the game about Cody's impact, just his presence, the three-point shooting going from 62-4. Just how has his presence and ability changed the way you guys are able to function? What has he done for everybody else?
Well, I think we can just keep moving in all kinds of different directions with statistics. Great example, we led the league in free throw attempts. And we're one of the leaders in the country in free throw percentage. He's a big part of that on both ways, and the fact that he gets fouled allows others to get fouled, allows the bonus to move that much quicker. I think we could look at any aspect of our game and see where there's been a factor where Cody has had his presence felt. But the bottom line is our team just keeps getting better, and Cody is no different than anybody else. He just keeps improving. And our team has been the same way. So he's a two-way player. There's no doubt about that. He's a early in the game player. He's a late in the game player. He's a middle of the game. I mean, you can do a lot of different things. There's not many scenarios that I could think we'd be in where we wouldn't want him in, you know, barring foul trouble or anything like that. And we've got some other guys you could say that about. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons we've improved because guys can do more things for longer periods of time.
In terms of preparation, is it a challenge at all when you haven't played a team since the end of January and now you're playing them again for the first time?
No, I think one of the things we just did is look at the game tape, the second half from when we played them here. So no, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, it comes back to them pretty quick in the sense of, okay, they get in this situation, what are they trying to get? And then you jar their memory a little bit like that, and it comes back. So I think you could say that probably about anybody in the league. We've played them twice. That certainly helps. Maybe with somebody that we played once, it'd be a little bit different. But our guys have been so good game plan wise and very, very good with preparation that I don't think they put a lot of stock in, you know, how close it was in the sense of proximity or how long ago it was. They do a really good job of staying in that game. But in answer to your question, I could definitely see where the things came back to them pretty quick, you know, for this one when we started going through what they run.
I don't know if this is asking for state secrets too much, but in terms of just what you guys have been able to do against Frazier, what have you liked about what you've done the first two games, and what haven't you liked against?
You've got to be completely aware of him from start to finish and from one end to the other, because his game is so much about being in that lane and creating penetration. Now, with that being said, he's shooting more threes on average than he has, and He's getting to the foul line. I mean, he's been one of the most complete guards, not only in our league, but I think in the country for a long period of time. So if you allow him to dominate in transition and dominate the paint, not only for shots but for passes, he's really, really good. And you've got to be constantly aware of where he's at, how you're playing him, what your coverages are constantly, because he's that good. I mean, he thrives on the pressure, I think, and when you pressure him and when you do different things, I think he really likes that. And I think you got to be really smart with how you play him. And at the same time, part of being smart is always knowing where he's at.
Do you think you're better equipped for him now that Christian's has shown he's been able to defend a one? I guess, and you really kind of have four guys.
We switched with it. We did some switching in that game where Christian did a pretty good job the couple of times. And the bottom line is you just can't get on the side with him. It doesn't matter who's guarding him. I mean, if you let him get, if you don't have chest in front on him, that's tough. So it doesn't really matter who it is. But in answer to your question, I don't think there's any question that that's helped our defense. That Christian can do more things like that.
Do you want?
He had one over here. You have one?
I was going to say, just with Frazier, I mean, I know last game I think he only had, maybe one assist. As important as keeping him from scoring, is it also important just from a team aspect to keep him from bringing others into the game? Is that fair?
Absolutely. We've been going against some great facilitators. I mean, certainly when you look at just in the short a couple of games, Draymond Green for sure, Robbie Hummel, Tim Frazier, they all do it from different positions. And when you've got a team like that you're facing, when you've got a game plan for that, you've got to take in all those accounts. Those guys don't just beat you with their scoring or with their shooting. They beat you with so many different aspects of it. And there's got to be an awareness. Now, at the same time, because a guy like Tim Frazier is such a good passer, there's not a lot of people to help off of. He's very good at finding those people. And at the same time, he's very good at being in traffic and being in a jam and coming out of there with a foul shot or two. And so you want to be very, very smart on that as well.
Do you want these guys to approach this game with a little bit of an extra edge because it's a postseason tournament, or just as if it was a regular game?
Oh, I'm sure there's a difference maybe for them, but we're not coaching it. I mean, they've been on the same wavelength for a long time. And there's no speech about it's a new season and it's a new time. No, we're staying right with what we've done. And it'll be the next week. They'll know. I mean, they'll know what time it is and what time of year and all those different things. But the moment we get off this path of what we're trying to do with staying in the game plan, staying in that practice, staying in what we're trying to get accomplished, it's never about let's prepare for two and treat it like one. I mean, it's none of that. I mean, I feel like this team can get ready in a short period of time because of their maturity, because of the way they lock into scouting reports and game plans, and because of the versatility of them. Now, maybe if you took out some of those factors, it'd be different, but it's not. So when we have those factors playing for us, we're going to make sure that we don't ever get ahead of ourselves, and we haven't.
Coach, you're talking about Cody, you said how the whole team's kind of improving. Is there something you've been doing differently this year compared to your first 3 years that's kind of get the team playing the way it is?
Well, we're better. That's got a lot to do with it. I mean, we can do a lot more things. And we're definitely better defensively. We're better getting to the foul line. We've taken care of the ball better. I don't know if I'd say there's a lot of things different. And you have so many more. It's like anything else in life. The more tools you have, the more you can do with them if you're really looking to use them the right way. And our players have so much versatility now. And again, they've been through so many different things, but they've got that versatility on offense and defense that we still. It's a line I learned from Mike McCarthy a couple of years ago. Less volume, more creativity. And I think that's exactly what we try to do on offense and defense. And I know I'm constantly putting things in, but it's not, well, let's change how we play. No, let's just add this, let's tweak that. So that's been fun. And but the best part of this team is watching them produce the results they're producing and get better while they're doing it. And Cody's got a lot to do with that.
What's your own philosophy on conference tournaments? Do you like them? Would you rather?
Been on so many different roads with them where you out in the first round when you get to the finals and you play a game. One time at Marquette we played a game into the night and had to turn around and play it again at 11 o'clock the next day in the championship against Cincinnati. Been to the semis in the Big East tournament, which is a big deal. I think it's part of the game. I don't have I don't have a big feeling one way. That's the next thing. And when in the past when you've struggled, it gives your team a little bit different ray of hope. But at the same time, for us, I mean, when you've got long-term vision and goals, and at the same time, the only way to get that is to stay completely locked into that short-term way you're doing things, then it's the next thing. And I think it'll be a great venue. I think it's a wonderful place to play. I mean, if we didn't live here, it'd be a great honor to take your team to Indianapolis, and even though we do live here, it's a great honor to do that. I mean, there's a reason they have so many great events, and I'm disappointed that this is the last year for a while that it'll be Indianapolis, because Chicago will be fine. I've been there when I was at Michigan State, but not that I had any say, but I was a big proponent of it staying there, because it's a great place. I mean, that building is so well run. And they do everything in such a first-class way. So that part of it's fun, but really it's just getting ready for the next thing. And it's a big deal. But you treat them all like they're big deals, then it's just the next thing, next big deal for your team.
The competitiveness.
One more question.
Oh, sorry. Well, the competitiveness of the conference this year, do you see this as a wide-open event?
I don't speculate like that. I really don't. And I read those things. If it's going to be beneficial for us to use it to stroke our team a little bit, stroke a fire. But other than that, I don't ever look at it like that. I mean, I see the brackets, and other than looking at the brackets, it's what you're doing and what happens if you win that one. I mean, and that's really, I really don't look at it any further. And again, maybe I'd feel differently if we had a team and a group of coaches that couldn't get ready for things in a hurry, but we do, so I don't ever look beyond where we're at. Okay?
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Coach.